Episode 1: How to Overcome. When I was a kid, I had asthma. It would temporarily stop me from doing things that I liked to do, but ultimately, I would always prevail. Despite the asthma, I was a very active kid. Like most kids that grow up with health problems, I played a lot of video games and learned how to use a computer really well when I could not go outside to play. One of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was to go rollerblading. I went rollerblading as often as I could. I loved it. I also loved the water, and so did my parents. My parents both worked really, really hard, and with their hard work, we were fortunate enough that most of our houses had a pool. If I wasn't rollerblading, I was in the pool. I think being very active as a kid kept the asthma in check most of the time. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid was a movie called Airborne. In the movie, Mitchell Goosen lives in California, where he has the ocean for surfing and year-round perfect rollerblading weather, his two passions. He gets sent to live with his aunt and uncle somewhere up north where he finds himself only able to rollerblade when it's not snowing outside and no beach, the worst case scenario for someone like him. He ends up making the best of it and has an epic adventure. Here's a clip from one of my favorite scenes of the movie. To this day, I sometimes watch this clip on YouTube when I want to go outside, but I can't for one of two reasons. One, I have a lot of work to do, or two, I find myself dealing with my current health issue. Growing up with asthma, it stopped me from doing things sometimes, but when you're a kid, you're more resilient. You push through because that's what every story that you were ever told is about, how to overcome. I moved to Orlando for college and my asthma got much worse. I decided that I was going to push through it and overcome it. I started slow, with walking every morning on the treadmill at the gym, no matter what. I remember walking back to my car and having to sit there for a minute or so in order to catch my breath. My asthma was pretty bad. When I mean bad, I mean I used to cough up blood from my lungs just from walking on the treadmill bad. Eventually, I pushed past it until one day the taste of blood after my workout was gone. From there, I got stronger. I was eventually able to rollerblade again and cruise on my longboard. It was then that I saw another movie with a fitting title, Only the Strong. The movie is about a teacher who is a very skilled capoeira fighter. He teaches these underprivileged kids the art form, and you follow along on their journey. It's an overall great movie from the 90s. I learned capoeira towards the end of college and I trained for a few years after. I loved it. I practiced as much as I could. In my late 20s, I became very ill. It was my gallbladder. It had basically stopped working and needed to be removed. After the surgery, the doctor showed me a picture of what he had found. My gallbladder had turned sideways and fused to the outside wall of my stomach. Pretty nuts. I never really recovered from that. A few years later, I got diagnosed with SOD. It's a condition where the muscle towards the end of the bile duct works in reverse and shoots the bile back up into your liver. I've had 2 bile duct surgeries since then. A year or so after that, I got diagnosed with chronic pancreatitis, and I've never been the same. Like Mitchell from the movie Airborne, throughout my life, I refused to give up on the things that I loved. I'm not sure what's happened to me at this point, but I feel like I've given up, accepted my issue as how things are and how they will be, and I'm really not happy about it. As we get older, we let go of our dreams and accept the status quo. What's my dream? I absolutely love the water and marine life. I started a company right before I got really sick called Aquaperil. It's an ocean conservation company. I save sharks, clean up trash from my local beaches and waterways, and make videos about marine life, water sports, and ocean conservation. Steve Jobs said it best. When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way that it is, and that your life is just to live your life inside of the world. Try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family, have fun, save a little money. That's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you, and you can change it. You can influence it, and you can build your own things that other people can use. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again. The pancreatitis restricts me a lot. It is possible to overcome it, but it will take time and consistency. The purpose of this video series is to document my journey and keep me accountable so that I can overcome my current situation, realize my dream, and make the most positive impact as I possibly can. Despite my current state of health, I'm still here. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Here's my reaction.